So welcome once again. I'm Dr. Bart Rademacher, Prescription for Your Transformation, hashtag real people, hashtag real conversations. And I learned something new today, and that's the story of our next guest. And it's something that I probably should have known, but didn't really appreciate it. And it's really the story about confidence. And where does it really come from? And when you really think about it, you can't logic yourself into self-confidence, because as much and as easy as you logic yourself into something, you can, as I like to put it, you can logic yourself out of it. So when you're in your head, you're just not right. It's really in your heart. It's really in your soul. It's really the alignment of every part of you. And how is that going to happen when your physiology is off? When you don't eat the right things, when you don't take care of yourself. And what I love about this next speaker, she's going to teach you. She's going to have you appreciate that as you take care of yourself and every aspect of that, especially the ways that she teaches you, predominantly your physiology and sometimes also your mindsets, then that's where your confidence can come in. And I'm very honored to have met Caroline Portugal. She is the CEO and founder of HND Corporate, also known as Hot Ninja Defender. And I've known her for many years and very impressed, with her athletic abilities. In fact, we did meet way back when on a competitive course, and she beat me every time. And but I have to say, she's also a little younger than I was, and a real, super athlete, I like to say. So, Caroline, welcome today.
Hello, how you doing? It's good to connect with Dr. Rademacher.
Thank you. So you're this person you're like a bumblebee. You're all over the place. You have the energy of like 10 other women, but more importantly, you have a passion to want to serve women, particularly women, in a way so that they can protect themselves. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How can women take care of themselves, whether it's in martial arts, whether it's self-defense, but also most importantly and fundamentally, to be the source of their confidence.
Awesome. It's good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about self-defense.
All right. Well, I run a program called HND Corporate, and we do something a little bit different than other self-defense programs. We incorporate personal safety with wellness, nutrition, fitness, positive image transformations, and visual arts. So it's a little bit different than the other martial art programs that are out there. And I kind of wanted to do something a little different that kind of connects with the corporate programs. Sorry. sorry. Did you want to stop? I can go somewhere.
No, it's all right.
All right.
We're cool.
No, I'm good.
So you were saying you're different than other programs?
Yes. We just have something a little bit different because we are meshing different aspects with our wellness program. Like, for example, I told you, like the nutrition and the fitness and the image transformations, the visual arts. It's completely different than any other wellness program that's out there. We're also launching this year, actually, I forgot to mention, is our active shooting preparation program for corporations. So that's quite new, and I can't wait to launch that this year.
Tell me a little bit about, you said you had your own personal experience, and that's sort of what inspired you to want to teach women about self-defense. What's that about?
Well, many years ago, when I was 18, I'm 41 now, so do the math there. And when I was a student, and I was going to school in Toronto, probably 18, turning 19, and I was studying fine arts, and I was attacked, by a 210-pound, 6'2" homeless person, and 6 months prior, I took a self-defense class. At the time, I was like a black belt Taekwondo student, but I felt that this self-defense class was something totally different than I learned. I learned this one technique, a palm smash, that actually pretty much saved my life that night. And a homeless person tried to come from behind me, suffocate me with a bag of poison, and within a few seconds, I was able to palm smash his nose bone into his facial skull and knock him out. And I'm here today sharing that specific situation, sharing that technique with other females. So I have a strong passion behind what I do. But I felt, there was, the reason why I executed that technique is because I felt that I had a God-given right to fight for my life. So I wanted to kind of explore that. And in time, I understood that when I decided that I was going to go home that night, I realized there was a bigger picture, and that was I felt that I had the confidence to attack back. And I don't know if many females would do that. So, of course, during that time, I was too young to really understand that, because along the years, I realized that teaching self-defense, there was a bigger picture to that I had to teach women that they had to have a sense of self-worth to want to attack back or to leave an abusive relationship. So there was a lot of things that I had to learn to come to what I'm doing today.
And so how do you teach that? How do you teach, on the one hand, getting that self-worth, but then also on the other hand, having the, let's say, call it confidence,
right,
to want to fight back? Because, that in essence, could even extend to men,
Right. I feel that, the majority of females that I work with do not know how to take care of themselves. So, sorry, someone came in. I don't realize that we're doing like a radio.
Do they know that we're doing a live radio show?
No, we just realized. So what I'm going to do you want me to position myself in a different?
It's entirely up to you. It doesn't bother me, but
let me do that so that, I didn't realize. Hold on. All right.
Are you at home right now, or are you in the
Yes,
street?
I am. All right, that's a whole lot better.
Okay.
He doesn't realize that we're doing a live. All right. Okay. Okay, so let's go back to the question. Sorry about that.
So what?
I feel that a lot of women, do not take care of themselves. They don't know anything about nutrition. They don't know anything about making themselves in the inside. I truly believe that, a lot of the women that I worked with, especially some of the domestic violence survivors, as soon as we started to go into teaching them how to eat better, teaching them about proper nutrition, teaching them about how to stretch, do yoga, how to empower themselves through visual arts, positive image transformations, that was the game changer right there. Then they asked themselves and they said, you know what, I'm not going to let anyone ever take advantage of me ever again. So that was kind of the turning point. So
I think, my perspective, is this, is that women deserve to have their personal power. And for whatever reason you want to bring up, it seems very hard for them to get access to that. And oftentimes it's also overdone. And the truth is that, and it's not just women that deserve to have their personal power. Everyone deserves to have their personal power. And because you should be able to stand up for who you are, what you want in life. And you should never have to be subjugated to anybody else's will because of your own fear.
Right.
And so it makes a lot of sense to me that you're teaching people on some of the basics, which is just nutrition. I mean, we all should know better with nutrition. When
Right.
the conversation, I think it was today, is that when your physiology is not appropriate, it's going to be very hard for you to have the ability to be in your personal power, to be the best that you can be. And the way that you don't get into your physiology is when you drink alcohol, you do drugs,
Yes.
you're dehydrated, you're not nutritionally well, all these different things. But then I like the fact that you're going one step beyond that. You're really teaching women just to own that so that they can find that they can really respect and honor and love themselves because their body is just working the way that it should be.
Right.
And it's where you get that confidence then
Right.
that women can say, hey, you know what? Don't mess with me. And oh, by the way, I know some martial art tricks that, will just slam dunk you on the ground and you're done. I mean, I
Right.
think that's
Well,
I think that's
I
badass.
think
And
that's
that's cool.
definitely, something that's empowering. That's an empowering situation right there when you know that you can take care of yourself and your loved ones.
Yeah. And I mean, you're not exactly a very tall and muscular person. I mean, you're what, 5'2" or something?
Yeah, 5'2", maybe soaking wet, 105
Right.
pounds.
Right. And I don't want to meet you in a back alley, because you'll beat
I'm a peaceful warrior.
you're a peaceful warrior.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about your visual arts, and you're saying that that's been transformative, that's been pivotal in helping women. Because one thing that I do understand is that we're so stuck with all our cultural norms, our cultural rules, our cultural education, the environments that we grew in, the rights and the wrongs, and everything else. But I'm fascinated by the idea that your visual arts can bring out some kind of symbolism because, quite frankly, we do live in the world of symbolism, even though we don't really appreciate that. We live in the world of what we call archetypes. So it's
Right.
fascinating to find out that you're using visual arts to help women also expand themselves and expand their awareness about themselves.
Yes. Because even though they may not be a Picasso or an art student, uh, with a bachelor's of fine arts, being able to take a medium like a paintbrush or a pencil crayon and be able to be expressive of something on a canvas or on a piece of paper. There's just something extremely therapeutic about that technique right over there because sometimes these women don't do a great job talking about their feelings, but they can draw it, paint it, use color, and I think there's something very magical about using visual arts to empower women to be confident. It's empowered me for sure.
Nice. Well, how do people find you if they want to learn more about martial arts, or if they want to find out more of how they can find their self-confidence by protecting themselves and taking care of themselves? How can people find you?
They can go on HNDcorporate.com, but I'm sure that if they Googled my name, Caroline Portugal, I'm sure it would show up somewhere in social media. But I'm definitely going out to different big, huge corporations and talking to wellness coordinators and finding out how I can reach out to the masses. And that's what I've been doing lately is teaching my programs at that level because I feel that's a great way to reach out. I did a lot of public classes and that's been really great, but I feel that doing this on a corporate level, this is definitely something that I would rather do because I can teach 100 to 300 people.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
So I know you're time constrained today, and I just want to honor you with that as well. And so as we wrap it up, I'd just like to ask you to share, one or two tips that you can share, with any of the listeners as to, how they can, self-protect themselves.
Well, one of the things that I teach in class, and I mean, we do teach a lot of physical self techniques, but there's a lot of non-physical self-defense tactics, and that is learning to heighten your awareness skills. And I think today that the biggest problem that we have is being distracted by our phones, our iPads, with our iPods or whatever. And I feel that this is a problem today, is that I find a lot of people roaming the streets with their eyes glued to their phone, and they're not really paying attention to what's around them. And I think that's definitely something that people need to realize that not to do when they're, driving, walking around. Believe it or not, that is something that we've been talking a lot about in our classes. Another thing that I can talk about, for example, I'm trying to think of all the millions of things that we talk about in class. Why don't you, I'm going to ask you a question. Why don't you give me a scenario and I'll give you a tip? Because I would rather have you ask me a question about something instead of just grabbing anything. That would be easier for me. Ask me a question about something and I can give you a tip.
Okay, you're surrounded by three guys with
with a gun?
No, with knives.
With knives?
Mm-hmm.
Run.
Run. There you go. I love that. Hey, and on that note, I'll have to tell you a story, and then we'll wrap it up now.
Okay.
I have to tell you a story because you're absolutely right. And my father was somewhere in the Far East. I don't remember whether it was in Thailand or Indonesia or, one of those countries. And it really doesn't matter which country it was. It's just that he was in a bad neighborhood. He was just in a place, that he wasn't familiar with. And that could have happened, downtown Atlanta or Detroit or anywhere. So, but he and a buddy of his were, left a restaurant, and they were surrounded by about 6 or 7 guys. And they obviously were up to no good. So my father, being as clever as he was, what he did is he knocked, he kicked the smallest guy, picked the smallest guy out, kicked him, in his crotch and ran like hell.
Yeah.
You're not going to fight against that many people.
Well, let me know, Bart, when you want me to teach a class for you, and I know that you work with girls all the time, and I'll be willing to do that for you. And if you want to record some of it, and
let's do it.
I'll do that for you.
Yeah, let's do that live. That would be fun. I've got the special. We can do that.
I'll absolutely offer that for you.
Awesome, love it. So, Caroline, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I've always had the utmost respect for you.
You're just back to you.
You're just a powerhouse and an inspiration, an athlete, and truly someone that anyone can look up to because, the life that you live and what you do and everything else and the people that you serve. So I want to thank you, and it goes back to you. Anything I can do for you, then let me know. But I'm Dr. Bart Ranamaker, Prescription for Your Transformation, #real people, #real conversations, #real success, talking to Caroline Portugal. And you can find her at www.hnDcorporate.com or find her on Facebook. And it will be an absolute delight to have her as one of your teachers and an inspiration to protect yourself and find more confidence in life. Caroline, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.